Hello and welcome. This is Cashew Nut Farming 101 and I'm Emmanuel Masha of Mwanganga Farms in Kilifi County. Cashew Farming 101 is a series of lessons designed to help us share our experience in cashew growing so that we can assist people who want to go into cashew farming to get the right knowledge and skills before embarking on cashew nut farming. So it's a series of lessons. We have already covered lesson 1 on things to consider before you start to do cashew production. So this is lesson 2 and we'll touch on land preparation. By land preparation, we want to take you through the activities that you do in an ideal situation before you do planting of cashew nut. So welcome on board, and if you miss the first lesson, it came in 2 pieces. You can go back to the sites where we shared this information. Emmanuel Marsh on Facebook, you'll find the videos. You'll find it at Masha Emmanuel on YouTube. You'll also find it at Mwanganga Farms on Facebook, that's a page, and on TikTok, Emasha, and other areas on LinkedIn, Emmanuel Masha. So you can go back and view the first 2 videos that went out about 2 weeks ago. But today we are embarking on lesson 2, which is land preparation. So welcome and get the best out of this. So when we talk of land preparation, as I already said, we are looking at the things you undertake before planting of cashew nut seedlings. Taking for example Mwanganga Farms, it's a new farm, so the first thing you deal with is the bush. Mwanganga Farms started some years back, and until this year we've been establishing new areas. So the first thing I want to talk about is bush clearing, where you can use various methods. If you are highly mechanized, you can use some bulldozers to do quick work. But in a small scale, you use a panga to cut down all the bush, and then you burn after it dries. So you cut down, you heap, and then you burn. I'll show videos about this shortly. So the bush clearing is a process that should start when it is dry. Like we are in September, it's very dry. This is the right season to do bush clearing, because you'll cut the vegetation, it will dry up in a few weeks, and you'll put it on fire. As I'll demonstrate, way before now the rains come. We expect the rains maybe in October or November. The weather update says November, but for coast region. So, but ideally we expect it in October. We still believe and hope that it comes in October. So after bush clearing, what you remain with is tree stumps. These stumps are the remains of cut trees, and they ideally regrow very fast, and they compete with your seedlings. They can even kill your seedlings. So tree stumps represent potential weeds, and they need to be removed. For us, we apply different ways to remove them. There are some which during burning we kill them by fire, and some which we have to progressively remove even after we have done planting. But if you have capacity, please have people to uproot all tree stumps, because there will be a problem as your plants grow. The other thing is hole digging. All these things, remember, are done during the dry season. So digging holes is a critical thing to be done, so that by the time the rain comes, then you are able to plant directly and maximize on the full rainy season. Don't plant toward the end of the rainy season. Your plants will not maximize, and the rain, once the rain goes, it will have to fight the dry season, which is a few months. In most cashew growing areas, the rains come in 2 seasons. In between, you'll have 2 or 3 months of dry conditions, depending on the area you are dealing with. So you have to do hole digging. The standard hole for cashew planting is 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. So it's a square hole that goes down 2 feet. As a regular training tells us, you want to use the topsoil because of its fertility to go down. So you You will dig the first 1 foot of soil, dig it to one side, place it in one side, and the second bit, you get the soil on another side. It is the top soil that you mix with manure. Manure, if you have a bucket of manure, that will be very good. Well decomposed manure. Manure can come from chicken, from cows, from goats, and all that. That is the manure that has a good nutrition. So you mix the topsoil with manure and fill back to about 3/4 of the hole, leaving about a small bit of the hole, so that once it rains, that place has moisture. So you go to the next holes. One thing I want to highlight here is the hole distance. There are several planting systems for cashew, and at Mwanganga Nuts we've used quite a number of them, and we have been able to see the benefit of each. So most of Mwanganga farms is planted at about 6 meters by 6 meters. That gives a high density. It gives a high density arrangement, where an acre will have almost 100 plants. Yeah, but you can do 8 meters by 8 meters. That's the standard for dry areas, and 9 meters by 9 meters for areas which are high potential, where plants grow very fast. We are talking about along Kenya's coastal line, 5 or so 10 kilometers from the ocean. These are areas which receive generally high rainfall, and plants establishes very fast and they grow big. So you are advised to plant at minimum 9 by 9 if it's a pure stand. But for us at Mwanganga Nuts, which are about 50 kilometers or so from the ocean, it's relatively dry. We talk about the cashew cassava agroecological zone. So it's a bit dry, so plants grow relatively slow. So we are allowed to do 7 by 8 by 8 actually, but I do 6 by 6 because of my own reasons. There are places where plants have been planted at 4 by 4. This is what is called the ultra high density cashew product. It happens in India and some other parts of Africa. So I'm talking about plant spacing. If you do a square arrangement, the recommended one is 8 by 8 meters, 9 by 9 meters if you are in the high potential areas of cashew growing. So we are done about hole digging and manure application. Once you have done that, then you wait for the rains. It's quite a lot of work, as you will see, because bush clearing takes time, takes a lot of energy and resources. Then stump removal is also a very specialized job. There are very few people who can do it, and the prices are also high. And hole digging is relatively good. It's easier, and you need to do all these things during the dry season and wait for the rain. Don't run after the rain when you're dealing with tree crop plantation like cashew. So that's where it all ends for this lesson. We tackled about land preparations. As we do land preparations, be sure where your seedlings are, because if you want seedlings in October and you have to plant seeds to get seedlings, then you need to plan backwards and know when the nursery will be established. If you are buying seedlings, have the order in place. Not many people will plant so many seedlings prospecting for market. Many of them will plant seedlings in the nurseries upon a confirmed order. Even at Mwanganga farms, we cannot plant tree seedlings like cashew tree seedlings and expect somebody will come to buy. What if they don't? So we seedling producers will want an order, especially when you are dealing with tree crops. Unless your numbers are small, if you want 100, 200 seedlings, you'll get them. But if you are dealing with 300, 400, 500, you better talk to your nursery operator in time so that they do a special order for you, so that you don't get disappointed. The rains have come, nobody has seedlings enough for your farm. So basically that's what we have. We'll share this video and keep sharing it on. I want to say thank you for those who are sharing it on. Let's spread this word and help others who are facing challenges growing cashew, and those who do not know what it takes to grow cashew. Cashew globally has a big demand and it's increasing, but globally the supply is more or less lower than the demand. So there's a big potential, and we'll be sharing the opportunities as we go along. So for this lesson, that's what we had, and keep sharing the information and help a neighbor. Thank you. This is Emmanuel Masha from Mwanganga Farms. Mwanganga Farms is in Jaribuni ward of Kilifi County, where we grow the best cashew across Kenya, and we sell the best cashew across Kenya. For orders and other services, consulting and all that, get us on our socials, as I've said. Emmanuel Masha on Facebook, Mwanganga Farms on Facebook, Masha Emmanuel on YouTube, Masha on TikTok, and Emmanuel Masha yet again on LinkedIn. So thank you and be blessed. Bye.